week, so we thought we'd bring in the wildest Baldwin brother, actor Stephen Baldwin, to break it all down. All right, Donald Trump took a little heat for drinking water during one of his speeches.
Oh. Japanese.
Kind of reminded a lot of people of Marco Rubio.
Than false choices like the one the president laid out tonight. The choice isn't just between big government or big business.
Wait, didn't Trump make fun of that?
This wise guy, this lightweight, is going over, and all of a sudden he's being drained, and he goes like this, remember? And he's off screen. I said, where is he? And then he comes back with water. And honestly, water's fine, but it should be in a glass. He's got the label of the company here, and he's drinking, and I've never seen anything like it.
So, Stephen, Watergate, do you think that's fair? The press had a field day with that one.
Well, of course, I was making the observation, Jesse, I called it even before I saw the videos. I said, watch, Rubio's drinking utensil will be smaller than the president's, thus little Marco, if you know what I'm saying. But, I think it's more Marco kind of like, if he looks kind of squirrely and apologetic as he's doing it, where the president just, wait a minute. Okay, let's go.
Oh, yeah, the president took his full time. There wasn't any panic at all. Yeah. I mean, he was letting people wait.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So that speech that the president was giving, it was about all his accomplishments while he was over in Asia. Now, one of those accomplishments, he brought back a bunch of UCLA basketball players from China because they were busted for shoplifting Louis Vuitton sunglasses. And this is how one of them thanked the president.
To President Trump and the United States government, thank you for taking the time to intervene on our behalf. We really appreciate you helping us out.
Now, is he reading that? He can't just memorize or just say, thank you, Mr. President? They had to give him a piece of paper to read?
Well, I think these are still reasonably very young gentlemen in a situation way over their heads. And yeah. I just think it's impressive that this president just went and got it done. You know what I mean? Just a phone call, and didn't have to give any money or any other people back to their country or any kind of weirdness.
Yeah,
it was just pretty simple.
Would probably have traded the basketball players for either pallets of cash or a bunch of Chinese prisoners or something like that.
But I think it's really refreshing, and it speaks to this connection the president has to the citizens of our country, where he doesn't waste time with silly stuff. He doesn't make a big deal about it. Okay, they messed up, and listen, they are getting punished whether or not you agree how much or how bad. The one thing those guys want to do more than anything is play basketball, and they can't now. So I think President Trump handled it brilliantly.
Yeah, I do too. All right, also in the news this week, the subject of sexual harassment. Now, candidate for Ohio governor and state Supreme Court Justice Bill O'Neill decided he wanted to get ahead of any controversy and preemptively wrote this on Facebook, right? Now that the dogs of war are calling for the head of Senator Al Franken, I believe it is time to speak up on behalf of all heterosexual males. As a candidate for governor, let me save my opponents some research time. In the last 50 years, I was sexually intimate with approximately 50 very attractive females. It ranged from a gorgeous blonde who was my first true love, and we made passionate love in the hayloft of her parents' barn, and ended with a drop-dead gorgeous redhead from Cleveland. Now, can we get back to discussing legalizing marijuana and opening the state hospital network to combat the opioid crisis? I am so disappointed by this national feeding frenzy about sexual indiscretions decades ago. Peace. So what do you think about this candidate's play here, getting out ahead of the story?
It looks like a mic drop to me, bro. Any more questions? I think she sure seems to have it figured out.
It seems if the numbers even more of that.
It seems if the number's 50, then maybe there's a little more due diligence that might be performed, et cetera, et cetera. But
Yeah, now we're getting information. CNN is now actually fact-checking the statement. They're doing a little truthometer, so we're going to find out more about that later. And we don't want to make light of this. You know, he was kind of making light of sexual harassment. You know, that's not the point. The point was this guy's taking very direct, preemptive action in case anyone had any issues. Now, do you fly anymore, Stephen? Because I want to show you some video. There's a flight attendant, got a little flamboyant while doing the seatbelt demonstration aboard Southwest Airlines.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we can have your attention for just a moment. Place it over your head, wrap that strap around your waist, and buckle it in the front. Pull on the seat. Your flight attendants are walking the walk and strutting the stuff to make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened. Your tray tables and seatbacks are in the full upright and lock position, and all your carry-on items are completely underneath the seat in front of you.
Now, you probably don't fly commercial anymore. You're probably mostly private, so that's what you'd call a seatbelt demonstration.
Well, yeah, that's a little overwhelming. You know, I don't know if it's some other version or interpretation of like a Captain Sully there or something of the like, but it sure doesn't seem like it to me.
Very flamboyant, but that's what you get when you fly coach. You wouldn't know anything about that, but we just wanted the audience to see that video. Now, I know you have a new gig coming up, a new show, The Great American Pilgrimage. Tell us about that in 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, my life is complete. Jesse Waters just said Great American Pilgrimage. This is just big. Yeah, I went out and had some fun. This other network, I'll let you mention it if you want, is that's working with the likes of Larry King and other folks like that. Jesse Ventura. They're kind of branching out as a news network into some more interesting content. So my show is called The Great American Pilgrimage. It's a lot like Jerry Seinfeld's show where he's driving in one of his fancy cars, drinking fancy coffee, talking to one of his fancy friends, that whole idea. But it's me in an RV. Oh, go, go, go.
It's you in an RV. All right, well, listen, it's RT Network. I think that's the Russian network. So Mueller is going to be coming, knocking on your door and asking you a lot of questions. So good luck with that, Stephen. And I support that with whatever you're doing. It sounds like a great enterprise.
I'd love to come back when you're in the room, young man.
I know. Next time I'm down here in Palm Beach. Life's tough. All right, a Water's World exclusive up next. A man and his emotional support squirrel causing mayhem in Florida. Stay tuned.